8 seconds. Well, Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Season 5 of Eye on the Future with Lady Fontaine and co-hosts Jim Elkin and Paul LaPlaca. To schedule a reading or learn more about Lady Fontaine, also known as America's #1 love psychic, be sure to check out Lady Fontaine's website at ladyfontaine.com. Now, here's Lady Fontaine with co-hosts Jim Elkin and Paul LaPlaca.
Good evening and welcome to Eye on the Future. This is Season 6, Episode 1, and today is Thursday, July 29th, 2021. I am your host, Paul LaPlaca, along with our in-house spiritual guru, Jim Elkin, and our resident psychic extraordinaire, phenomenal life and relationship expert, Lady Fontaine. She is known as America's #1 love psychic, and I have a testimony. I can testify. I've had 2 amazing sessions with Jill and really enjoyed them for career counseling and life coaching / therapy. Really made a lot of progress in 2 sessions. Highly recommend it. They're 3 hours long, so be prepared. Anyone who needs any kind of help, it's really a good thing. We are back from hiatus, and we are so happy to have you here with us tonight. A warm welcome to those watching us live on social media platforms such as Facebook and YouTube. Those of us who are watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button below to be notified of our new shows. We welcome your comments below the live streaming. If you're watching on Facebook, please like our show and be sure to visit our Eye on the Future radio show Facebook page for details, where and when to view the show, specials, discounts, love, relationship, prosperity, and manifesting tips, and much more. Don't forget to follow us on these platforms. In order for us to bring you these shows streaming live, we need your help by liking and following us on the various platforms. And since we are live streaming, for those of you who don't know, James Elkin is our in-house spiritual guru. Say hi, Jim. And, of course, our psychic and phenomenal coach, Lady Fontaine, in case you're wondering, she's the one with the pink headphones. So remember, if you miss a show, you'll be able to catch up at any time on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, or listen to it on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, or any other podcast distributor. Our YouTube channel and Facebook page is called Eye on the Future Radio Show, and we've got a jam-packed show tonight, so stay tuned. We'll be taking calls throughout the show, so please be patient. We will do our best to get you all on air to answer your questions. If you call in, you will be able to listen to us live while waiting to get on the air. Our phone lines are open. Our switchboard is lighting up, and we want to hear from you. We'll be taking your calls throughout the show at 319-527-6216. That's 319-527-6216. Call us tonight on the intriguing topic of the art of astrology. Jim Elkin will be discussing this topic, and rumor has it he might be giving Lady Fontaine and I some astrological tendencies that might be heading our way. As always, you can call on any other topics you would like to discuss. We're here to answer your questions, and don't forget to follow us on Blog Talk Radio too. If you wish to schedule a reading or a life coaching session with Lady Fontaine, then please visit her website at ladyfontaine.com, and she can answer all your questions and concerns there. Our last piece of business before we bring Jim and Lady Fontaine is to remind you that we are still looking for a social media person to help us with graphics and posting on social media, as well as screening calls. We are a fun team to work with, and we would love to hear from you and have you part of our team. This opportunity includes on-air time if desired. Our most important requirements are that you have a great home office with fast internet, and you're good with technology and have an upbeat and fun personality like the rest of us. If you're interested, please email us at radioshow@ladyfontaine.com. That's radioshow@ladyfontaine.com. And either Lady Fontaine or her assistant, Star, will get back to you. There is currently no compensation for this opportunity, but it is great experience and looks really good on your resume. Since the show is your brainchild, Lady Fontaine, I want to turn the mic over to you.
Well, thank you, and welcome back, everybody. I mean, you guys, everybody's traveling here. You've all been on vacation. This is a hiatus that I sat around setting up my studio here. But how are you guys? Like, it's good to be back, and it's good to see you guys. What have you been up to?
It's very good to see you too. I was in Wisconsin for a bit, 2 weeks there at my girlfriend's family's place, and we're going to Los Angeles on Saturday for more family trips.
Are you kidding?
I'm not. We're
How
jet
long are you
setting.
going to be gone?
A week.
You are.
Be gone for a whole week.
My God. Good for you.
I know.
And I know, right. And Jim, you've been running around all over the place too.
Yeah, I took my Road King up into the Adirondacks and hung out with a couple of friends there and played trios by Schubert and Mozart and Haydn and people like that, and rode around and looked at all the sights and had a good time while they were painting.
Jim, are there a lot of bikers who are classically trained viola players?
More than you could possibly imagine.
Oh my God!
and no bikers in the heavy metal world, though.
No.
No, none. Right? I don't think we've ever mentioned that you were on that Netflix reality show. Did we ever mention
Amazon Prime, not Netflix.
Oh, Amazon. Okay. So you want to tell us about it?
It's a comedy show. It's called Mozart in the Jungle.
Know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mozart
and what
in the
did
Jungle.
you do?
I was in the orchestra. I was the violist who sat in between two of the stars. So whenever they were interacting, my face is in the middle of the camera. And a couple of times I actually got to be the center of attention, but not very often.
Oh, wow. I got to go back and watch it.
No, I'm not a Leo. Unlike
Jill,
some
you're
of
a
us.
Leo, aren't you? Oh,
He's a Taurus.
She's a Gemini.
He's a Taurus.
Ah. Who, me? I'm a Gemini. He's a Taurus.
Oh.
I don't know how we've gotten along for 30 years.
Right? That's a mismatch. But Gemini and Leos are tough too, though, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We'll have to get into that.
Right, when he gets going here. But my best signs are like Libra, Sagittarius. Those are the ones I get along with best. Like my ex-husband was a Libra. Most every man I dated has been a Libra. And then I have friends that are everything. The signs I don't get along with are Capricorn.
Really?
And and Aquarius is one of my good signs. Yes.
Okay.
So now that we've covered that. In any event, while you guys are having fun, yes, I was out on the motorcycle quite a bit with Mike, who's kind enough to do the screening tonight. And I'm sure when I look up, you could see light in my glasses. I've gotten studio lights and a new computer and all this stuff. So do I look any different?
You do. You look radiant.
Yes, you're glowing.
Thank you. You both have all the free sessions you want for the rest of your life.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But wait, you can read our minds. You can tell if we're lying. That's not good.
I know you are. I know you are. You're just trying to be nice. That's all. But Jim, I've heard that you had a slight mishap yesterday.
Yeah. I was turning left, and I did something a little stupid and got too close to a guy, and he suddenly made a left turn to make a U-turn right in front of me, and I managed to stop. But so I didn't hit the car, but I certainly hit the ground.
Ooh,
that's one way of stopping.
Yeah,
slide the bike down.
I didn't even know I was going to take the ground, but yeah, I'm okay. I banged my knee up a little bit. Just scraped it, didn't even bang it. It's working better than the other knee, actually. Just got a funny red mark on it. It's called road rash.
Wife fixed, your wife fixed it up, so now it's better than your other knee? Or do you have a bad knee?
I don't have a bad knee. It's just for a little while I was feeling something funny in my quad on my right, and now they're both fine. So
good.
There we go.
Good. We're very glad to hear that.
Yes, but the bike did a lot worse than I did. Now I need about $1,000 worth of repairs on it.
Don't you have insurance?
Oh no, not for the bike. The bike is ancient. I took it I took it into Harley to see if they would, give me some kind of a what do you call it, a buyback on the bike to see if they would give me a discount on a new bike, and they said no.
And they wanted you to pay them to take your bike.
Yes, exactly, yeah. I said, okay, never mind. So
how old is that?
It's 97. It was made in 1997, which is one thing, but it's got 150,000 miles on it.
That's great.
150,000 miles is crazy for a motorcycle.
Yeah, no, that's really impressive.
Bring Mike
you're a real rider. That's awesome.
Bring Mike on. I think his is 80,000,
No.
and his is a 2003.
Could be. He's with a caller right now, so.
All right. The one other question: what year is your new bike?
It's a 2007.
Yeah, that was a snazzy looking bike.
Yeah, that one I wouldn't try that kind of a trick with. I would be very careful because it's heavy. I know what it feels like to drop that bike, and it's no fun picking it back up again.
No, I know. I've heard
750
stories from Mike
pounds
about that too.
750 pounds of glory.
Right.
I know. I know. So in any event, we're really glad that you're okay. And,
Thank you.
And one thing I want to mention, I mean, I'm sorry that your bike is a little bit hurt right now and damaged, and hopefully it'll have a second chance or third chance, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
at life. But, I wanted to get back on track because, when we do these shows, the main purpose is always to guide, to enlighten, and to help, our listeners evolve and become more aware of who they are and what their true potential is in life. And obviously, as you aspire to all these things that we teach, you start resonating at a higher frequency, and ultimately that helps you attract things that are going to be for your highest good. You have to excuse me. I've been sick for the past few days, so if I'm clearing my throat, it's the only way I could talk. But as far as the show goes, we always have a lot of fun here. And many of you, and I haven't mentioned this to you guys, but many people have been commenting to me, either by clients or people who send into the email address that we give out, what great chemistry we have between the three of us. And I agree. I mean, it is the best match we've ever had in doing this show. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate both of you. And I really think this is great. I mean, the chemistry is marvelous. It really, really is.
It's mutual.
And you,
Yes.
and you, Jim, I don't know how you know something about everything, but you do. And Paul, I don't know how you always figure out something to say. You're like the greatest ad-libber. Jim is good at it too. Like you ask me a question that wasn't planned, and I'm like, let me look on the script here. You guys, no matter what I throw at you, you've always got something to say. So
Well,
I think you're great.
You know what Steve Martin said? Some people have a way with words, and other people not have way, I guess.
I guess I'm one of those.
I guess. Yeah.
I live by that. Not have way.
I mean, I'm very good at what I know, but I'm not good at just coming up with stuff off of the top of my head. I'm just not.
Yeah.
So in any event, though, I've gotten so many people saying it lately. I don't even remember what our last show was. I think it was Letting Go.
Yes.
And we must have sparkled in that show.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Because I've gotten so many compliments on all three of us. So thank you guys. And I just wanted to say that on the air.
Thank you.
Nice to hear. Thanks.
No, it really
Very
is
sweet.
great. So in any event, I think I want to open the show with a quote. You guys know how I am with quotes, right?
Yeah.
No, I love
know.
your quote. We got to get some Lady Fontaine T-shirts with your monthly quote.
Good. Oh, I like that.
Right?
Actually, I should sell that on my website. I like
Yes.
that.
Let's try to diversify our revenue.
But this particular quote has very special meaning to me. And Jim, I don't know if this will have great meaning to you, but it has to me. It's a quote that was said by J.P. Morgan, and that's important to Jim and I. That's where we met 30 years ago, and we've been friends since. Yeah. And but I mean, you and I, Jim, have done channeling, and we weren't even channeling J.P. Morgan, and he came through. I was channeling my great uncle, and J.P. Morgan comes through. But he was a collie breeder and a collie exhibitor. And of course, we all know him as a successful Wall Street financier. But I mean, he because of the collie stuff and Wall Street, both are important to me. But he had a really famous quote that I love. And that quote was, and this is important for tonight, so listen up.
Okay.
Millionaires don't use astrology. Billionaires do. That's it. So that's my opening line for tonight, guys.
Well, Jim, we are anxious to hear about the art of astrology. I have many, many questions myself. I'm sure our callers are going to as well. And we're all on the edge of our seats waiting to hear about this intriguing topic. And maybe we'll end up as rich as J.P. Morgan.
I hope so.
Well, it's hard to do astrology on stocks, but I guess it could be done.
Oh, between your astrology and my psychic ability, we got it made.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we're not the richest people in this world already.
I do.
Why? What?
Because we're not doing those things.
Right?
Well, let's do it. Let's start today.
Okay, well.
We're already doing it. What is Paul laughing?
I love it. I love it. I think Jim wants to say more about maybe the material world is not what we should be using our gifts on, and we shouldn't be focused. That's my intuition. We're not supposed to be chasing money.
I remember asking Jim 30 years ago, if you become enlightened, do you have to stop liking like Jaguars and Porsches and nice stuff? And he said, no, you could be rich and spiritual. So I said, here I am. I'm going that route. And now here I am all these years later.
Yeah.
So Jim was very instrumental in I've always been psychic, but in my expansion of spiritual knowledge.
Well, thank you.
Jim was the man. He was the man.
So I have a couple questions for Jim on this topic because I've been at times I've been a little bit more inclined to believe in the aspect of astrological readings and horoscopes and that kind of thing. And there's times I'm a little bit more open to it, and times that I'm not. And I feel like the times I'm not really supportive of the idea of it is when I get wrapped up in the monthly horoscopes or the newspaper horoscopes, and for a while they'll be hitting right on the nose, and then they'll say something positive and it doesn't come through, and you're like, this crap doesn't work. So my general idea, my feeling as a layperson, look, I haven't studied astrology really deeply, but my understanding of it is, it's just like if you call any police department and say, what's the craziest day of the month for you? And it's always the full moon. Full moon fever. Everyone knows that full moon brings out some really bizarre behavior in human beings. And the science behind it, do we know really what's causing that? Is it gravity on our physical system? Is it some other form of energy we're not aware of? But if the moon can do that to us as human beings, and I know for sure that this is real. The moon it's documented. The moon can mess you up on the full moon. What is a planet like Jupiter out there doing to us and the energies of those huge heavenly bodies? When they're all certainly, they're lined up in a certain way, it's got to have an effect on us. And is it gravity? Is it something else? What is it about planetary positions that influence us?
Oh, you stole my question.
Wow.
I did. It's not on the script.
You stole it.
It's not in there. I didn't see that.
But it's very similar to one of my questions.
Yeah, see, I can review mine too.
So I had the same question.
So who's going to give the
answer?
answer?
To answer this question.
Oh, I'm psychic.
Yes, this is your show, Jim. Come on.
Today it's your show, so I don't have to talk that much.
Okay, yeah, don't you? That's okay. Well, there's no answer to your question objectively because you're asking science to answer the question. Science can talk about electromagnetics and gravity and the weak force and the strong force and all these things that they know about, but there seem to be some forces that they haven't gotten to account for yet. So I don't know the answer. I mean, if it's gravity, great. If it isn't gravity, then what is it? And that would be a good good direction to head. But for now, what they do most of the time is they turn around and say, oh, no, actually, that isn't happening. And people have run statistics on police stations and haven't found it anything is more than the other days. And so there's really nothing there to talk about. And I've heard these things too. I've heard stories about surgeons that refuse to operate on full moons because people bleed more. It's called the lunar effect. You can read about it. If you read about it on Wikipedia, you'll also see that everything they have to say about it is this is a pseudoscience and it has nothing to do with reality, and you can ignore it because those kind of people are the people that hunt pages in Wikipedia and try and.
There's no empirical evidence on the full moon having an effect on us.
Well, that's what they claim.
Right.
That's not true, but that's what they claim.
But empirical evidence would be the hard facts, hard data, numbers and charts. I always thought that there were like physical studies on this stuff that proved it.
I thought so too.
There are research projects that have come out and have been published and have gotten some critical review and stood as, even though they're usually very small groups of people that they've studied, not big enough to be able to account for a whole planet, but it's certainly strong enough to say there's got to be something there. It's just
right.
beyond.
I can't tell you how many times I've said to my girlfriend, it's like, I feel really weird. Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, it's a full moon tonight. Like you can feel it, So
it affects you.
Right?
I've never felt the effect.
You've never felt the full moon?
I feel it all the time.
Maybe it's men. Maybe like werewolves or male, male, aren't they? No, there's female werewolves.
Actually, there's some research that I haven't been able to say is that strong, but there's some research that say that women's menstrual cycles, at times when they're healthy menstrual cycles, they tend to coincide with the lunar phase.
I tend to remember that too.
Yeah, so it isn't just men.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah.
I was talking about werewolves, not menstrual cycles.
Well, the whole idea of the werewolf is based on this principle of this idea that it unleashes some deep inner, animal part of us, and not just men, but women too. Women can be werewolves.
It makes us primal.
Have we ever done a show on a full moon? Like I used to do the most incredible magic on a full moon.
Well, we missed it by a few days this week.
Oh, I know. It was a couple of days before, but we should actually plan a show on the full moon.
No,
because
all my technological crap will fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
a solar storm.
We might see right here in person, the two of you will start growing
hair, fangs, and everything.
Right.
I got 2 computers, 2 iPads, a monitor. I'll rip everything out of here. I'll go crazy.
No, we don't want that. It took you too long to figure out how to do this. We wouldn't allow that.
All right,
I'll let
Jill,
Katie chain you in.
We don't need that. I don't know chains here.
Yes.
So, Jill, you have specific questions for Jim on astrology. Like maybe we can let's dig deep on this and figure out like if it's not science, then what is it about planetary positions that affect us?
All right. Are you going to talk about it, or you want me to ask questions?
I've got all kinds of notes here that I can walk through, or if you want to ask questions, I can go through those and then try and skip those parts of my notes later.
Which is easier for you? To
Either
do
one.
your spiel? To do your
Either
spiel
one.
and then...
Let me bounce through it a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead.
So astrology means study of the stars, obviously. But that is a very limiting...
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
There's a very limiting answer. What really it is a study of repetitive patterns in time that may impact events or behavior. Okay? Sometimes these patterns are associated with stellar phenomena. Sometimes it's things about the planet, about tropical seasons or layouts of the land, things like that. So to just restrict it to stars is not a good thing to do. In Taoist astrology and the I Ching in China, they use the actual year as a way to handle it. And what they do is they say every year is given a certain animal name. Like this is the year of the ox this year. and they have cats and rats and dogs and snakes and stuff like that.
And or
Yes.
not dragons. Oh, did they have a dragon?
We do have dragons. Yeah, my daughter is a dragon.
I think I was born in the year of a dragon. Yeah, I think I am too.
Oh, you just gave away something.
No, I'm not. I'm a rat. I'm a rat. Hey, your daughter is how old? How old is Gwen?
She's 21 this year.
I'm 39. What's the
There you go.
deal? I always admit to 39. So nothing has changed. I'm never turning 40, so I'm always 39.
Yeah, so...
Stop laughing, Paul.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, he has seen me without makeup. That's why he's laughing. Because when we do Zoom, when we do Zoom, like coaching, I don't have makeup on. Go ahead.
So the next thing the Chinese do is they have 4 pillars, they call it. And the first pillar is the year. And the year you're born is your animal sign. And then they say, what month are you born? And then that's an animal sign. And then they say, what day were you born? And that's an animal sign. These all cycles going on all the time. And then what hour were you born? And that way they can really hone in on your particular personality as opposed to the general stuff, because you're focusing so intricately on all those pieces of it. So you could be a dog, rat, snake, elephant, and not elephant, but yes. You could be all those things at the same time. Yeah. Well, you need to have all that information, and then the astrologer will go through and calculate it all and hand you your answer. You can do it online. There's I Ching astrology calculators out there.
I mean, I've seen my natal chart. I know I'm a triple Gemini, which you could confirm.
You're a triple Gemini?
Yes.
What is triple? What do you mean?
Means I have Gemini in several houses.
Oh, no. You have Gemini on the cusp of your 11th, of your 12th house, and there are 2 signs, two planets in it, the Sun and Mercury. You're a double Gemini.
Doesn't that mean I'm a double Gemini? I know there's another Gemini. Well, I'll figure that out. I know I'm a triple Gemini.
Yeah, it's only a little bit of Gemini is in that house, and most of it's in your 12th house. But that's getting ahead of us.
12th house is what? What's the 12th house?
The house sign is Cancer.
But what is that 12th house of?
It's the border of the. I'm sorry. Yes, the 12th house is mostly in Cancer. Your Uranus is in Cancer, in the 12th house. It's the house of things that are hidden in your life, the things you don't want to reveal, the things that are deep under the surface.
So Uranus, or you say Uranus, but I say
Uranus because I don't want to say Uranus because it sounds like a bad thing. There's an old joke, what's the difference? What's similar between astrology and Star Trek? Toilet paper and Star Trek. They fly around Uranus and pick off Klingons.
Oh, God. I was going to say Uranus sounds worse than, however you said it, sounds worse than the way I said it.
That's the first scatological joke we've had here. That's great. I feel like I'm 14 again. My kid is 12, and he just discovered that's what she said jokes, and he won't stop. No matter what you say to him, he'll say that's what you said, and you're like, dude, that's not even close to, doesn't make any sense. He's like, no, it makes sense. And he'll try to make this long connection to make it work. It's like, I don't care. Just stop.
All right, I have to interrupt for a second because I have to ask Paul a question. It's a serious question. When your son picked up that guitar, what was he playing, and how did that make you feel?
Oh, it was the best. My son has been.
Did you see that picture, Jim? Did you see the picture?
Yeah, it was really sweet. He was just playing basic chords, but I've been trying since he was 4 or 5 years old to get him interested in the guitar, and he's only really been interested in drums and rapping, which is fine. Like I want him to express himself however he wants to. But me being a guitar player, and I've got guitars hanging all over the house, it'd be nice. And I've got 3 guitars ready for him. Like they're hanging on the wall. There's a Batman guitar. There's another guitar. And he just couldn't care less. So when he picked it up, I I was thrilled. I was like, finally, he's taking it, and he picked it up really quickly. So I'm like, oh, good. And I kept telling him, it's like,
I'm
listen,
happy.
when you get to college, if you can play an acoustic guitar, you're going to get
the girls. The girls.
Who doesn't
Whoa.
love the guy playing acoustic guitar?
And
Right,
people
they
get a
love
hip
it.
movement there. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
It
one
never helped
day.
me, though.
It didn't?
No.
You played the guitar. Remember, you
I did
played
really well.
the violin.
I play the violin, I play the viola, play classical guitar, acoustical guitar. I have a 12-string, a Guild 12-string.
But yours was like the Animal House thing with you're sitting on the steps and someone smashed it because it wasn't the right song.
Wasn't the right song. Life sucks.
Yep. Well, my kid only played the one day out of 14, so I'm hoping he keeps on picking it up, but it didn't last more than a day.
But it was still a lovely thing to see.
It was a wonderful thing to see, and I don't expect him to pick it up overnight. Just I want him to be open to it if he is, if he has the desire to play.
Did he seem like he enjoyed it?
He did. He enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry I interrupted Jim, but
That's
when
okay.
he mentioned his son, it triggered a memory.
Popped it up. So there's two kinds of astrology. There's sidereal astrology, which is where
I don't know what that is.
the planets are in the sky, what constellations they're sitting in front of. Okay? And then there's tropical astrology, which is the one everybody uses, which is based on the year cycle, so the seasonal cycle. So the spring equinox is the beginning of the whole zodiac cycle. So the first sign is Aries. So everybody born between like the 21st of March and the 21st of April, they're Aries. And then so that's the tropical zodiac, and that's the one we're all very used to using.
Right.
But the tropical the sidereal people say, well, that's not the real zodiac because you're not doing it by the stars, you're doing it by the seasons or by the months. And so they have this battle going on forever and ever. And you wanted to talk about the ages of the Earth, like the age of Aquarius and things like that, Jill?
Well, I have that question because last December on the winter solstice, and we had that very rare configuration, and people were calling it the Star of Bethlehem. And they said we hadn't had that for 700 or 800 years.
Something like that.
And it was a very, I did work at that day. And remember Lisa who called in? I did work for her on that day. And look what happened. And she just got back from Dallas again for another trip down there. So I'm trying to understand, because a lot of people were saying that truly was the beginning of the age of Aquarius. And we've been hearing about the age of Aquarius for 40 years, like since before I was born. See, I was up on that.
When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars. Yeah, never heard it.
I've heard that, like old antique music. I have, but so I'm just trying to understand more if there is an age of Aquarius and when it's coming.
Here's what the ages are. The ages are when the sun on the horizon at the morning of the equinox. You know the equinox. When the sun is over a constellation, that's the age of that constellation. So we're somewhere between the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius right now.
When you say somewhere, are we like halfway, or are we 3/4 of the way?
This is the problem, because nobody came out and drew a line in the sky and said, okay, when the sun crosses that line, you're there.
That's it.
Right. As the Earth spins, for you flat earthers, as the Earth spins, doesn't the sun on the horizon, will it always appear in the same constellation depending on where you are in the world? Doesn't it change?
No.
It will. So if I go to Africa and a country there and I look at the horizon during the sun will be in the same.
The constellation will still be in the same place behind the sun. Because the constellations are so far away, you don't get any bending going on.
Okay.
On that.
But we don't.
You mean if I'm in California, the sky looks the same as when I'm here?
No, the
Yes.
sun, when it hits the horizon, right? You're saying that it'll be in the same position relative to that
relative to the
constellation.
stars behind it.
Interesting, because
Oh,
we don't see
but-
the same constellations in the northern hemisphere that the southern hemisphere sees.
Right. I would think that's true.
So does
Because
the
I think
age?
even. Go ahead, Paul.
Is the age still the same if you're not seeing? Well, I guess if you don't see the constellation, you don't see where the.
Nobody has
Right.
a real criteria for when an age starts. They're just saying that when the sun is over a certain constellation, that means that it's that age.
Can the
All
age
right,
change
so-
from one continent to another, from the north to the south? Can you be in a different age because you're not seeing the
No, because
constellation?
the constellations are all on the ecliptic or near it. So the ecliptic is basically the equator of the solar system.
Okay.
So my question though is, what will change with the age of Aquarius? And that will help us because we're certainly not in a wonderful, peaceful, loving society right now.
No, I've noticed that.
Yeah. And it's amazing we all get along so well.
The age of Pisces is the age of prisons and governments and law and order and all that kind of stuff.
We're definitely
still
in the
there.
age of Pisces. Yes.
We seem to be having little spurts of Aquarius popping through, but I consider
I
that
haven't
more
noticed many.
yin and yang. Well, you think of the '60s. That was when they created those songs. You know, it was an age when that was going on. But at the same time,
how would I know about that?
Ronald Reagan was governor of California, and a bunch of kids at university in
I
Kent
remember
got
Ronald
shot.
Reagan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
There were some tough times in those days as well. So
Right.
To me, it's all very yin and yang. Excuse me. Yin and yang, meaning if energy pulls in one direction, there's also a counter energy that will pull in the opposite direction. So you tend to have radical things going on both sides. They just come and go in their distance.
Yeah, it's like Darth Vader and Luke. You know, you gotta.
Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Come to the dark side, Paul.
All right. So the other question that I do have.
So wait a minute, I'm not done yet. The ages
I'm
change.
sorry.
It takes 25,000 years for the sun to go through a complete group of constellations, and the last time that happened was probably 800 A.D.
So what does that mean? What changes when that happens?
That was when the sun entered
Pisces.
Pisces, yes, thank you. So when the sun entered Pisces, that was back then. So now they're saying that the true time will probably be about 2597 when we actually enter Aquarius.
Oh, I don't think we'll still be here.
I don't think so. But there are some people who are saying it was 2012, and some people say it was 1844.
I remember 2012.
1844 is the earliest date that somebody scheduled. But 2021 isn't anything special. So the reason that everybody focused on that planetary thing was they were thinking there's a big stellar event going on, and we're in the process of moving into Aquarius. So maybe that's what that was about.
What, in 2012?
No, last year.
They were expecting the world to end. Oh.
Last year.
Oh, yeah, last year. Well, things
were
supposed to get a lot better. Things
Yeah.
were supposed to get a lot better after December 21st, and I don't see it yet. But so my other question is, as a whole, how do the planetary influences affect society? Now, granted, you just explained these various ages, but we could look at individual natal charts. We could look at general, predictions or horoscopes, or we can look at individual horoscopes. But I've heard people talk about we're entering into the Star of David configuration. In fact, I think today it starts and it ends on August 8th. So how do things like that affect all of society rather than individually?
We usually look to the outermost planets as being the controllers of these kinds of things. So, goodness gracious, I need a drink of water.
You're getting my problem here.
Oh, is that it? I'm inheriting it from you?
Yeah.
I have to hang up now.
Yes. No.
So Pluto, for example, takes a tremendous amount of time to travel all the way around, about 247, 248 years to go all the way around one orbit, which is a long, long time. And that's why we're thinking that Pluto really dominates political situations on Earth because it affects everybody the same way. So we don't tend to look at Pluto a lot in a chart as being helpful with, who you are as a person, all by itself.
Oh, okay.
What sign is it in is the same for most people for how many years? For about 20 years.
207.
Yeah.
Oh, but what about this Star of David? And then when we have the Grand Cardinal something, Grand Cardinal Trine or something like that, the Cardinal Cross or something.
Those are.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Those are big events.
Grand trines aren't events. Those are.
Well, they're configurations.
Yeah, they're aspects. They're times
Okay.
when the planets line up in a certain way. Those would be powerful for a moment, but not for a long time because most of the planets that are involved are moving much faster. So if you had a grand trine with Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, which are very slow-moving planets, those planets would have a more powerful effect on general society. Whereas, Mercury and Venus and the Moon, boy, those move so fast, it'll be like in half an hour.
Oh, because they say from today, I believe, until August 8th, we're in the Star of David planetary
I don't know what that
aspects.
means.
Yeah, I don't either. So I have another. Go ahead.
It could be a grand sextile is a 60-degree.
I believe I remember hearing that.
So it could be that there's a string of planets 60 degrees apart all the way around the sky, and it's a very smooth moving aspect. It's very powerful but very smooth moving. Things move very easily. Things happen. Things can change very quickly that way, but not usually in a way that's surprising or disturbing. More in a positive way.
So I have a question for you. This is a personal question.
Oh dear.
Do you believe in astrology?
I believe there's something there. I don't know what it is, so I can't account for it. But I have noticed that when I do charts for people, they're really surprised
at how accurate you are.
Yeah, at how I can pick things out that are really kind of secret or true for them that they don't really let people know about. So you may not want me to do your charts after all.
No. After we take some calls, I do want. So my other question to you is, so nowadays we have these larger telescopes and these big satellites. What if they discovered like 15 new planets in our solar system? Mm-hmm. How would that affect our current knowledge of astrology? Because it's all based on the planets.
Yeah, we also use asteroids as well as planets.
Oh, come on! Oh, is that what the
that's what Chiron is?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I never realized those are asteroids.
There's a few asteroids that have been used. So some people are always looking for some new thing to use in astrology. At one time, back in the days of Kepler and Galileo, before the telescope was working, they only thought that Saturn was the furthest out planet.
So was there a system of astrology then based on just that?
Most of those guys were astrologers. Galileo and
Kepler,
I
remember they were. Yeah.
They didn't just do astrology; they also did astronomy, but they were astrologers.
So how much obviously things must have changed every time you got a new celestial body.
Exactly.
So what happened to the astrologers when the next planet came in? Were they celebratory, or were they bummed out like that their whole system?
They were celebratory. Oh, goody, we got another one.
We got another tool.
Got another tool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So who determines what the planetary configurations or aspects mean? Like, with me being a Gemini, multiple personalities, we had multiple Jills here before.
Which Jill are you now?
I don't know, whichever one came for the night. They change every other minute. but who determines all that? And especially if a new planet's discovered, the Coco planet is our new planet. So who's going to determine what influence the Coco planet has on people and society?
It's actually done largely by observation. They watch
Really?
what's going on. They watch how this planet behaves in a chart and what kind of things are happening with people. And then they turn around and say, well, in the past, I've seen this planet here mean this to people. Does it mean it to you too? And then they start getting more confident in those things. It's always that way with astrology, that as you're working with it, you're beginning to get a better picture of how things that appear in a chart that you've seen before are showing up in this person.
Right. So
I didn't know that's how they do it.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
Me being a skeptic, again, one of the things that I found that is impossible to deny are the personality traits that get associated with your astrological sign. And as a high school student is when I first kind of started reading about it, and I was blown away. I was like, when I read my description as a Leo, I was like, how can the month I was born decide all these common characteristics?
You're a Leo? And
Yeah.
I thought you were born. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's a Leo.
How can you not know?
Now you tell me.
Right now it makes sense. But so for me, like when I read my first description, I was blown away because it nailed my personality, and anybody else I knew that had my personality traits, I would say, when were you born? It was like they were Leos too. So as I grew and I started finding out the other signs and I started recognizing traits in other people, what came first, the cart or the horse? Did people start recognizing common personality traits and then say that when were you born, and then assign them the astrological sign after observation? Or
I think it was a little of both. I think they were using astrology for planning when to have the king receive his crown, or
when to sow, when to reap.
Yeah, exactly. They were using astrology as a way to plan for propitious days for events and rituals and things like that. That was the original use for it. And they still use it for that in China today. They'll use astrology for when to begin building a house, or when to start a new business, or when to get married, things like that, looking for the right time. And then they may have started noticing, oh, isn't that interesting? People who are born when it's propitious to do this, or, that kind of thing. So it's probably my assumption. I'm not saying this from nobody knows, because this is so we're 2,000 years old.
Right.
It's a very ancient system, but it's very possible that that's what we're talking about. I guess that's all I got to say on that.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to take a few calls and then we can get back to maybe giving some specifics?
I've got some.
I think we've got.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we have a lot of callers in queue.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, go ahead.
But what were you going to say?
I was going to say I got a couple more items here that I think would be really useful. And
all right. Well, let's take two calls, and you can talk a little bit more. We could take two more and kind of work our way through, if that
sounds good.
Agreeable to everybody. Okay. Do you want to figure out who? I'm very intrigued by Patricia.
Okay, let's take Patricia.
I'm very anxious to hear what she's got to say.
Hello, Patricia. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hey, Patricia.
Hi.
So can you tell us your story?
I'm so excited to hear what's going on with you.
Oh, wow. Well, I was hoping you could tell me.
Tell us your story.
What's happening.
Tell us what's about.
Yeah.
Well, my question, I was going to ask about my spirit guides and if they have any messages, because I feel that I am awakening, and this started maybe almost 6 months ago, and since then I have started dreaming vivid dreams that I am now journaling because they are so vivid, and along with that, numbers. 555-111-333-444. So I'm also
Ooh, I
journaling
got the
these
chills.
numbers.
Wow.
Yes, and I see them everywhere all the time. And of course, I search and look for the meaning, and it's just amazing to me. So I want to know, what are the messages? Am I on track?
All right,
Do I
I'm just
continue?
connecting. Yeah, I'm just connecting with
you.
your guides to see what is going on here. Because I really feel you have, I'm not sure who it is yet, but I feel one being in particular that is communicating to you. And what they're showing me is almost like an automatic writing. So have you ever just sat there with a pen and just sort of like doodle and see if either things start coming to you or if you actually start writing things? Because it feels like there is like a good entity, like a very good high master level being that is truly trying to communicate with you. And you must be very good at writing, because they keep on showing me the pen. And, I'm sitting here with a pen now wanting to start writing because it's coming through so strong. So Patricia, are you either an artist or a writer or something that would do these big strokes with your hands?
Well, I tell you, I do love to write. Well, it's not like it's a career thing or it's something that I'm invested in. It's just general note taking, daily needs, daily activities. Oh, it's time to pay the gas bill on this date. So, but other times when I am researching, because I am one of those people who love to research, and I want to know more, and so at that time I take notes, and I like to go over and reread and reinvestigate. So those type of things, when it comes to note taking, more of an investigating type of side to it.
You definitely have a mission. And I feel that very, very strongly. And I do feel that Spirit is opening the channel to you right now. I actually feel, if you chose to go in the direction of being a channel or a medium, you would be able to do that. That sort of like sector just kind of opens up in your crown chakra. And I feel very strongly that you would have the ability to do that if you chose to do that. But even if you didn't, I believe there's information. I believe these numbers mean something, and I believe there's information here that means something that's being given to you right now. It's being given to you for a purpose, and it is coming from source, but there is a particular high master being. I'm not sure if it is your guide or I'm not sure who it is yet, but they are definitely, you are chosen. I'm hearing those words. You are chosen to receive these messages. They will start coming in clearer, and there's I'm trying to think of the right word here. There is a very specific protocol that they're going through with you. And you're going to end up calling me and telling me what the messages are, because you're going to get it. It's something very, very specific. It's meaningful to you in some way, sort of like, let's assume that your interests are photography. Somehow this would tie in with that. Or if your interests are politics or whatever it is, it's going to somehow align and fit in and make sense. But some of the information that's coming through to you, I'm glad that you're journaling, because it is going to start making sense. And you are chosen. You are chosen to get this message. And it's a very important message for you as well as groups of people. And that could be groups of people around the world. I mean, it feels like it's a very, very powerful message. So, and what blows me away about this, Patricia, is you've been awakening for 6 months. Jim, how long have you been awakening for?
Oh, 30 years.
And me
Wow.
too. And we don't have anybody sending these kinds of messages. I mean, hey, I'm offended.
I'm still asleep.
So
You don't get
we'll
those
wake you
messages?
up. We're going to wake him up. But you're very fortunate, Patricia. You are on track. The most important thing is that you're aware and you're doing exactly what they want you to do, which is journaling. And you will start putting these pieces together. Don't spend a lot of time and energy yet in trying to put all the puzzle pieces together. They will become very evident to you. I think even this year, as we get closer to the end of the year, the messages are going to intensify and they're going to be very, very specific. So I see you absolutely on the right path. And you are you're literally chosen for this. This is your chosen path.
Oh wow, thank you. And as you speak, 555 is showing up on live CNN. I have the news on, so it's those type of things. 555.
So,
I'm very aware. Because at the time that whenever the numbers, it draws me in. So I'm made aware of the message through the numbers. I don't care what I'm doing. I could wake up in the middle of the night to go to the fridge for some water, and there it is at 333 or 1111. And I just thank my angel guides for the message. I've already read it a number of times, and so I'm letting them know that, thank you, and for the message. My background is medical, so it's just something about. Yes, about
the groups of
nurturing
people. It could be
health.
right. It could end up being COVID related or something else. There's a message. I mean, I'm sure you've already read this because I just Googled the meaning of 555, but I want to say this out loud. And it says the meaning of 555 is to stay positive, confident, and aware of everything that happens within your inner being, no matter what life throws at you. The most important thing is your state of being. The truth is that your state of being creates your circumstances, not the other way around, which is what I teach. Your outer world is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And if you listen to our show, from past episodes, you would hear that common trait. So keep that focus. Like meditation would probably even intensify this, or just quiet time, or start communicating and connecting and asking for very specific answers, like who are you? What do you want? What am I supposed to see? And I'm going to turn this over to Jim because Jim is pretty insightful with this stuff.
Yeah, I would say also make a log of what you've seen. Actually write it down, because if somebody's trying to get a message to you, writing it down is a way for them to know that you got it.
She said she's journaling, so she's writing it down.
Okay, I just want to make sure that she was actually doing that in the journal, because if she's journaling about, the events around it, seeing a number, but not actually writing the numbers down, because there may be a pattern in the numbers as you get them.
Yes, Jim. I am writing the number. It's funny that you say that, because I have sheets of paper that now I'm counting. Like, oh my God, there's numbers just running off the page here.
Do you remember that movie? And I don't remember the name of the movie. I think Bruce Willis had a son who was always writing down all these numbers. And the end of the movie, those numbers meant something. There was a very important message in those numbers. Paul, do you know what movie I'm talking about?
I don't.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know either. But
was it
the
recent?
more you no, it was probably, long before I was born, 20 years ago.
Is it pi?
We see a common thread here. What?
Was it pi?
I think so. What was
Darren
that about?
Aronofsky's Pi. Pi is about the Jewish mysticism, and it's all in black and white. No, it's a fantastic film. It's all about numbers. It's a brilliant movie. I love it. Pi.
But it sounds familiar. It does sound familiar. But Patricia, this is so critical. This is so critical. Your mission is so important. I don't fully know what the mission is. They're not telling me, but it's important. And I agree with Jim. Write down everything, even if it seems, oh God, I got the same message 3 nights in a row. Write it down. It doesn't matter. It's important, and it will play to your benefit in a very big way in the near future. By the end of this year, you're going to get clarity on this.
Thank you so much to all 3 of you. Many blessings. I love you all 3, and please continue to stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You too, Patricia. And call us back when you figure out what this is all about.
I sure will.
All right.
Thanks again.
Good luck to you.
That is fascinating. I love callers like that,
we have
right?
Right. That was the first time we had a call like that. And all
that was really good.
Yeah,
I
love that.
We want to make sure everyone remembers we have a special secret code that will give our services a 50% discount. That secret code is, Jill, do you know it's off there?
Somewhere. Yeah, let me see if I can find it.
I got it. I found it.
Somewhere.
It's TAA0729-FP. That's TAA0729-FP, and that will get you 50% off some life coaching sessions from Lady Fontaine, relationship help, psychic readings. Jim has a lot of healing arts that he can be helpful with here in the tri-state area as well as over the phone. And I do music production and post-production for video and film. So we are all ready to work, and we're ready to give you a 50% discount using our secret code.
And I want to say this, that I'm going to be using I've been already using his expertise in getting this live streaming going, but I'm working on a movie, and Paul is going to be, he doesn't even know for sure what he's doing yet, but he's definitely doing something with music and probably other stuff. And Jim, we were just talking before the show, he's a phenomenal acupuncturist and a phenomenal healer. And I have several trips coming up because of a wedding that I'm in October. So I'll be up there in September and October and stuff. And because I've been dealing with this sinus infection that never goes away. So Mr. Jim Elkin will help me with acupuncture.
My voice ever clears up.
I know. You got my problem. Somehow I got rid of it, and I had to send it to the wrong place.
It just got very humid out.
All right,
we got a really bad rainstorm.
Let me do some healing here.
Yeah, let me do some healing. Drink some bourbon.
I used to be a wonderful healer myself, and I've lost that ability.
Well, my arm stopped working.
You helped me.
My arm stopped working. What'd you do?
I know, but that's emotional healing. I do well. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I really did. All right, let me do a reversal here. Oh no, that didn't work either. Another reversal. Sooner or later, I'll get this right. All right, I'm not going to heal. All right, fine.
Please.
All right, so I've got a couple more questions here before we get to our next caller. We talked about at the beginning, my belief in astrology comes from, I do feel the moon have an effect on me. So I believe planetary positions could have a similar effect because they're much bigger than the moon. And so you're describing astrology as the study of the stars, and they're really far away. So star positions, how does that play into it?
I'm not talking so much about. I'm not talking about star positions, but I am talking about planet positions. Planets in relationship to where the stars are, or just planetary positions in absolute space? It's like this. We know there's something interesting about space around us. So if you think about the whole galaxy, vibrating certain frequencies and coming in all directions.
Right.
That would be what we would call the signs.
Okay.
Okay. And when you think about the planets moving around and messing with that, that's what we would call the planets. And how they interact with each other is what we call aspects, which is, like this one's 30 degrees from that one in the sky above us, and so that means it has that harmony.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then when planets go into retrograde, like Mercury.
Good old Mercury.
The
Yeah.
last 2
Let's
years.
not do another show. Like Mercury is
Again, like
retrograde.
being a skeptic with some of this stuff. Anytime that I've ever felt something going wrong with communications or having a really difficult time, my girlfriend will say, "Yeah, we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde." I'm like, "What the hell is that?" Like, I just found that out in the last 5 years or so. But every time I have like this massive problem, it's not like I know Mercury retrograde first. It's like I go to my girlfriend, I'm like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "It's retrograde." I'm like, "I'm having the worst time with X, Y, and Z." So again, it's like those are the things that make me a believer when I'm really a scientific skeptic with a lot of it. But when stuff like that happens, it's like I don't,
Yeah.
But what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Because if you believe what I believe, that your thoughts create your outer world, then if you believe that when Mercury is retrograde, all this stuff is going to happen, it will. But you're going to tell me, I don't even know Mercury is retrograde and it
90% of the time I don't know. Like she'll give me a warning. She'll be like, sometimes she'll say, "Look out, the next few weeks are going to be hell," because most of the time I go to her and I say, "Holy cow, like everything I'm trying to do right now is going backwards." And she's like, "It's because." So it's chicken first for me. A lot of the time I don't know. It's Mercury.
But it could also be other people's mental state is influenced by the Mercury retrograde, and they're in control of things that you're trying to get through.
Nah.
That's another
They're
possibility.
messing with me.
Remember, everybody's got Mercury retrograde, not just you.
Right. So one last question on the astrological stuff. All right. So our planets, our solar system is here. So we've got influences within the solar system, I'm guessing, with planetary bodies.
Yeah.
But as our solar system moves around the universe, we come into contact with other energy too, right? That's where. Is that? Are we getting closer?
It's possible that these things can all change in the future because the way that tropical monthly things happen might move.
Right. So do we move as a solar system? Are we moving too slowly through the universe to really feel anything astrological? It's too big. Like if we had a 1,000,000-year life cycle, maybe we would have a different understanding of that. Okay.
That's right.
It's really fascinating to me. It's really interesting.
Okay.
So when Galileo was first doing all this, the constellations and everything looked much different than they do today.
Not much at all.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you thinking of? You're thinking of something. What was different back then?
I don't know. I just figured it's a long time ago. Something was different. I'm surprised that it's all the same.
We just got through saying moving to the galaxy is too slow.
No, I know, but I think Galileo was around a long time ago, wasn't he?
Yeah, 100 years ago.
Hundreds of years.
How many years?
About 500. About 500 years ago.
600, 700 years ago.
No, 500, 600 maybe.
So he's playing.
But if we're talking about...
Let's argue over a few decades or a few centuries.
If Cro-Magnon man was just killing off the last Neanderthal, they would be different.
Do you sometime want to do a show about an ice age?
I would love that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else.
I don't know what that would be.
I have theories on it, which are way different because I have different political beliefs than you guys. But I'd love to do that, but we'll talk about it.
All right, do we have a new caller we want to grab here? Who's next?
I think we have a bunch of callers.
Yeah, we have Suzanne, who sounds like she's got something similar to the last caller. Hold on.
Wow, this must see the age of Aquarius is on its way.
Suzanne, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
I am here. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I was laughing because you said, "Oh, we've never had a call like this," and I'm sitting there thinking, "Holy cow, that could be nice."
It's a movement.
I think it is.
No,
I think
it's
we're
gotta
all these people part of this, helping the earth get,
Better.
more aware of the spirit world. Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been in awakening for probably 3 months that I've known, 3 months that I didn't know, that I thought I had all these physical ailments that were really just spirit trying to get my attention, I think, because now that I've recognized them, they're all gone. And I had them all checked out and none of them were medical. Like my heart was racing, but it really wasn't moving any faster. It was the weirdest thing. And just different things like that. So I've been told that I'm going to be doing readings for people. I'm going to be doing some kind of thing where I'm talking to large groups of people. I'm going to do some channeled writing, and I have some healing capabilities. And everybody keeps mentioning my astrological chart. Things are going to line up for me at the end of this month into the beginning of August, and that's when my things are really going to explode. And I've also been seeing the numbers, like for me it's been 10, 10, and 21, 21.
Oh my God, this is too much.
And I still get the 333, the 444, the 555, those kind of things.
I just want to let you guys know that she does not have the same area code as Patricia. They're not friends.
Yeah, okay. Right. This is so
and it's
weird.
Funny, but I didn't believe it at first.
Ahead.
But I have had so many readings from so many different people, because the minute I started getting this, I'm like, yeah, right, let's see what this person says. And I have done probably 30 readings in the last 2 months, and everybody is pretty much the same.
All right. Well, one thing I want to say to you, actually tomorrow starts something for you. I don't know what yet, but it just comes through so strong that tomorrow is a big day for you. So some of your awakening or some messages or something are going to be more intensified tomorrow. But my guides are telling me that as of the 28th, which was yesterday, messages changed. There was something different about the information that you're getting because it has a different meaning or it's like more critical. It's more important. So did you notice anything, Suzanne, in the past 24 hours or so that's different?
The only thing that I can say with surety that I've noticed different is that I've had a couple physical symptoms come back. And I'm like, what is the deal? We just got this all settled, and I'm not doing that anymore.
All right. What are the symptoms that are coming back? Let me see if I get any messages regarding it.
I just get like a chest tightness and a pain in the back of my shoulders started today. And just like I don't want to eat and stuff. And I had that before, and it went away after I acknowledged them. And my lips are numb a lot of the time. I get tingly lips at night.
Some of this I'm going to turn over to Jim with some of the physical stuff, but what I'm getting is it's more than awareness. I mean, granted, there are parts of your body that you do need to validate, you do need to connect with, but I believe there are messages in there. More than validating, It's finding those messages. And I believe some of those messages really come through as traumas, as wounds, as hurts, as more than just, oh, you're there. That's the beginning, but there's more there. And this is just like any kind of spiritual or emotional work. It's a matter of peeling off the layers. And you may cycle with this, 100 times, where you have to come back with this symptom or that symptom. But my gut feeling is that there's still some greater awareness. I keep on getting drawn towards her numb lips, and I'm feeling there are spoken words that it's like frozen. She's not able to get something out that needs to get out. Now, I would think that would be the throat chakra, but I'm really feeling it in the lips for her. From a more of a medical or clinical perspective, what do you say? And then while you're talking, let me scan her energy and go a little bit deeper and see what I come up with.
So what I'm hearing, it sounds to me more like you're getting a really powerful chi how can I say this? Surge. That's a good word.
Mm-hmm.
A chi surge. Do you do yoga or anything like that?
I've started meditating. I do not do yoga.
Okay. I suggest that you look into Kundalini yoga.
Okay.
Because Kundalini yoga will teach you how to
control
move
that energy. Right.
As it's moving through your body, because if it doesn't get controlled properly, it can be painful and harmful. Not harmful bad, but I mean harmful meaning it's uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And what you're describing, because there's no physical thing, they can't put an electric EKG on you and find any problem with your heart, but you're feeling stuff in your heart. That sounds like exactly what we're talking about. Is like you need to clean your chakras, and that's why I'm suggesting looking into Kundalini yoga, Kundalini.
Yeah, because somebody told me originally. I found out when I first realized that these were physical symptoms of spirit was a Kundalini syndrome or Kundalini awakening. And so, I went through all of that to try to, and doing like chakra meditations and things. And it's funny because I've been told I have very high energy, but like I don't feel it except for these physical symptoms. So I have to learn how to do that. And I know I'm getting messages because I've been told they're coming, and I keep hearing that I'm getting them in dreams. I haven't remembered my dreams for probably the last 3 years, and I've done all this work on I will remember my dreams tonight. I ask my guides to help me remember my dreams. I have a journal next to the bed. I try not to move when I first wake up and keep my eyes closed and think about it and get a feeling or an awareness or what was going on. And I mean, 6 or 7 words in the last 2 months. I get nothing that way. And they said I'm going to again. But
see, you're trying too hard. You are trying too hard. You kind of have to ease into it. And plus the fact, and again, you probably heard Jim and I say, we've been doing this for 30 years. And, we're getting back to callers, people who have 6 months worth of spiritual awareness and awakening that are like absolutely blowing me away. So what I want to say to you is be in the moment and don't worry. Be with what comes through. And do that inner work where that quietness, that inner, tune inward. And if it's a meditation and yoga, whatever it is, and try not to get the messages. See, my gut feeling is you're going to too many people who are telling you too many things, and you're waiting for all this to happen. And your better approach is just to relax and know that Spirit is there. Spirit is trying in some way to give you a message. And I would, just like I said to Patricia, start asking, Spirit, what do you want? What do I need to see? What do I need to do? And be more open and aware of yourself. See, you're getting out of your body already and worrying so much about what I need to do, what I have to do, and that's right. I mean, it's in your head now. You got to get out of your head into your heart, and you have to find that very quiet place within yourself, and it will come to you. But everybody giving you all these messages and it comes through as promises because you're banking on it. You want to be this great, have this great awakening and stuff. Let it evolve. Let it happen. And it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. You're starting to wake up. And that's all that really matters. You're starting to wake up. You are connected. Go ahead, Paul.
I just want to break into this because in my experience with dream communications is a lot of times it's not meant for your conscious mind. It's meant for your subconscious. And these messages come in and they resonate with you in a foundational way, and it's not part of your everyday. I earned my money.
You did. I am so impressed.
I'm out.
Oh, my God.
I don't feel so guilty
blown
now.
away.
Thank you.
But he's right. He's right.
That's right.
He's absolutely right, Suzanne.
Yeah, just go with the flow.
And the more important thing that my guides are saying is what's happening now is you're in that waiting mode instead of that trusting mode. You've been told this stuff by numerous people. Trust it. Just trust it. Go inward and quietly. I don't know if the right word is wait because I'm not a big person on waiting, but listen. Maybe that's the better word. Listen. Jim,
as James Taylor says, you might as well enjoy the ride.
That's right.
And you should. You should. You're waiting for all this stuff, and you're all like, like anything that happens, I could feel it in your energy. I mean, you're like in high gear, and you're waiting and wondering and blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be.
I am.
It could be, but for this kind of work, you have to find that quiet place. You have to be very much in that trusting mode. And that's something that's part of your learning experience. And I'm going to tell you something, you guys, this new awakening that people apparently are having, it's miraculous that it's happening so fast, but enjoy every moment and don't rush it. It's coming to you exactly the way it's supposed to. But I would agree that when you said earlier about healing, I definitely got immediate validation and you have the ability to heal. I would say start my feeling is start with just energy healing with your hands. I feel if you just rub your hands together and do whatever you need to do, oh man, are you going to be powerful? You don't need anything else but your hands.
Can I tell you what happened? I have a dog that has congestive heart failure.
Oh.
And so I decided that if I'm going to be a healer, then I'm going to help him. So I started doing this meditation thing with my dog, and we took him to the cardiologist yesterday, and his heart has actually gone down in size. It is not as bad as it was 6 months ago.
Beautiful.
So
you have the ability. See, that's what I'd like to see you focus on. When I first became a healer, I had the ability to heal humans, but I worked on animals. That was my gift. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Not that I can't do people, but what I found is animals don't have this complicated brain that, you could heal a human and 10 minutes later they're back to the same old problems because of the way the brain operates. Dogs and animals are beautiful. They're beautiful creatures. And I would say keep doing that work. You're going to find your way, but don't push it and don't want it so much. If you've ever listened to the show before, what I always say, when you want something, you keep it away. Look up the meaning of want in any dictionary. It's lack of. So you're getting yourself into a state of lack by wanting.
Yes. I get it. Okay. I'm just trusting
good luck
it.
to you. You're on the path, Suzanne. You're very much on the path.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's fantastic. This is the best show
love this.
ever.
I love this.
I love it too. This is fantastic.
God.
What a
this.
good night. So what's next then? Do you want to take another caller, or is there anything we want to go over, or just keep on hitting them?
I would like Jim, keep on going, Jim, because eventually he's going to get to us, and I want to hear what he's got to say.
That's what I'm trying to avoid.
You want me to get to you?
No, I'm curious.
Okay. Hang on 1 second here.
And you still have other stuff you want to talk about too, so I want to hear
I wanted to talk about the different kinds of charts that are out there.
Well, why don't you talk about that first?
Yeah, the first one that's out there is the newspaper chart. That's the one Paul was talking about earlier.
What do you mean? The one that you read in the...
You open the newspaper up and there it says, Taurus, this is what's going to happen for you today. Now, those are called transit charts, although it's a very simple transit chart. What it's saying is your natal chart is in Taurus, and this is where the sun is today. And so because of that, I can tell you what your life is going to be like today. But it's only the sun. It's only in the sign. So it's too general. And you've got how many planets? 10 planets that you got to deal with. You've got 12 houses and 12 signs. And aspects that can happen to any single one of those things. And your aspects are really going to determine a lot about what happens in your future and your transits. So a transit chart that we would build today, if we were going to do it to make it, what's going to happen to you if you take this job or something like that. No, I'm sorry. What's going to happen to you in a year? What are you going to look like? And what I would do is I would progress you. Like I said, transits means I would look at what your chart looked like natively and where it is today, what the sun looks like now or the sky looks like now. I would also progress it 1 day for 1 year. So I would move the whole for one day of forward progression in your birth chart. So the next day after you're born will be like a year of your life. And then I would also move it 1 month per year. So a month of time, where will your chart be after a month? That'll be like a year of your life. So those are three levels of progression. How many figures was that? three levels of progression. And so you get really precision stuff going on. In fact, we use this technique to fortune tell, of course, but we also use it if people don't know what their birth time was. We say, well, what do you think it was, or how close can we get? And we do a progress chart, and we look at how things line up with major events in their life. And we move the chart around to make it so they line up. And then we tell them what their birth time was based on that.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Did you know your birth time? Did you find it, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, he gave me.
Oh, good. Good.
So those are what we call, those are fortune telling or progressive charts, progress charts. Natal charts, we talked about. When does someone born is the question, is a real controversy in astrology. Sometimes it's when they're conceived. Sometimes it's when they breach the crown. Sometimes it's when they cut the umbilical cord. And most people say it's when the baby's body is separate from the mother's body. Completely separate.
I can tell you, I remember being born. I remember the birth experience.
So when would you say you were actually starting to be under
the influence? My spirit entered my body when the baby started to cry, and I could tell you the how I know that. I mean,
okay, so that had to be after the umbilical. No, that had to be after the umbilical cord was cut.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. But I didn't want to go back. I was arguing with them that I didn't want to go back. And they said to me...
No, that's the human body, she means.
And then the master, the high master being that escorted me, the baby, my mother would cry, and I'm busy saying, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. And then he said to me, you have to go back, but it won't be for long. And then like that vacuum, I zoomed in my body, and then I could hear the crying. So the actual soul enters, and I know this is not what the traditional people think, but the soul enters the body at birth. I lived it. I experienced it.
So when you cried for the first time was when you took your first breath of air outside of the womb. So you could still be attached, right? You could still be breathing while you're.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's true.
So it's maybe, Jim, it's the first breath. When you inhale for the first time, the spirit enters the body then maybe.
That's true, but most babies don't cry until the umbilical cord is cut.
Oh.
Because they have the oxygen they need from mom until the umbilical cord is cut.
Interesting.
With puppies, it's that way. We cut the umbilical cord and we start. Sometimes they're moving before. Sometimes they are.
They'll be moving,
we
that's
do
when they breathe.
Things to clear their lungs.
Yeah.
The next kind of chart is a horary chart, and what that
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, it's a chart is cast when somebody comes to you and says, I've got this question I need answered, kind of like what we're doing tonight. And you'll say, okay, the moment I understand the question, I'm going to cast a chart for that moment. And then we're going to look at that in relation to your native chart and come up with the answer for your question.
Oh, so like if you want to get married on a certain date, you could say, is this a favorable date?
No, you say, is this the right girl for me to marry? And the moment I got what you said, I take that time down and I make a chart for that time and lay it out, and that's going to be the answer. It's going to hold the answer for your question.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like another way of throwing the tarot. I've never done this, but I'm fascinated. I have books on it, but I just never did it. So it sounds like fun to try sometime. Maybe we'll do it.
Yeah.
Election.
Well, when we have the team building meeting in October.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'll bring my tarot cards.
Okay.
Do we need tarot cards?
I don't think so, but why not?
All right. I don't do tarot readings anymore. It's been years. I wouldn't even know what a card means anymore.
You'd be surprised. It comes back real quick.
Oh, you think I remember? All right, I'll bring them.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
Electional charts are like what you were saying. What's the best day to get married or something like that?
Oh, okay.
Okay. And finally, there are relationship charts, and I think
like compatibility. Are you talking about compatibility?
Well, it's not compatibility. It's actually what will the relationship look like. And the way this chart is done is, I've done this on people, and they're just shocked because I can, in fact, I did it on one of my relationships with my last wife, and one of the questions that I read in the book in the interpretation section said, and you have to ask yourself, why are you married to this person? And I said,
I remember those questions.
What are you saying? Because we were not supposed to be together. Anyway, so what happens is you take the two natal charts and you kind of average them out so that you're reaching the midpoint between all of the planets, and you're averaging out where the ascendants and the midheaven will be, and figuring out where the houses will be, and so you end up with a new chart that is neither of us, but it holds both of our information. And then you read that chart, and it's literally a relationship chart. It's a chart of the relationship itself. It talks about the dynamics of the relationship, what kinds of things don't work, what kinds of things work well, what kinds of things you need to do to get better, those kinds of things. Really cool.
So it's not a compatibility chart.
Compatibility is all about, how likely am I to get along with this person? You could use it as a compatibility chart, but it's really discussing what's my relationship like with this person.
But more important, what I'm trying to figure out is like, if I've got like Uranus in my 10th house of whatever you said, and my partner has Mercury in the 10th house of whatever, I always thought you look at, all right, Mercury and Uranus. That actually would work. That would work. Right? So because those are compatible planets.
They're compatible planets, but everybody has them.
Oh, but don't we all have planets anyhow?
That's right. So it has to be how they relate to each other in some way. So I wouldn't, if I were doing a relationship chart, or not a relationship chart, but a compatibility chart, I might be working more on just, what kinds of things are you missing in your makeup that someone else might be able to come in and fit those parts really nicely. Something like that. So a
frivolous person, and then having somebody more stable.
Someone's more practical, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they don't always work.
And you can tell that in their.
Yeah, they don't always work, because you get an Aquarian and a Taurus, and it's like, forget it.
See, an Aquarius is one of my compatible signs.
I know, but they're party animals, and Tauruses are like, I want to be home.
Well, I thought Cancers want to be home. I have Cancer rising.
Some, yes, you do.
See, at least I got that right, Paul.
Yeah. So, and that leaves me with your charts.
Well, do we want to take a call or two and then get into our charts?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because we have so many callers. But we're going to get to. Look at all these callers here. But I want to get to our charts. I want to hear something. Do you have any? Who's here? Some of these look champions.
We have Tonetta. Tonetta's been on for a while, waiting for us to give to her. So let's take Tonetta.
Okay.
Hi, Tonetta.
Hello?
Are you there? Hi.
Hi, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
So tell Tonetta, what's your story? Tell us what's going on with you.
Okay, so basically, I am separated from somebody that I was involved with. It is another female, and her name is Christine. I would like to know if there's going to be reconciliation and something further here, because she did give me a diamond ring and a diamond necklace and earrings, and she did not ask for any of this back. And we live in the same apartment building complex, so I do see her every day. So I don't know what's going to transpire here.
Yes, you will definitely. You guys have not run your course by any means. We do video streaming as well, and I'm sitting here shaking my head yes when you're saying, "Will we get back together?" And I'm saying, yes, definitely. It comes through as a definite. I feel a couple things in her energy. One is she needs the space right now, and this is all about space. This isn't about not caring for you. She may need to explore other things before she really knows that, because I could feel in her energy she felt closed in. She felt almost, I don't mean this the way it sounds, but it's like a caged animal. Like, I have to get out. I have to get out.
Right.
It was like survival for her. But it's a passing thing. Once she experiences this survival, she's going to go, ooh, this isn't all I thought it would be. And I do feel she already misses you. I do feel she thinks about you. It's just a matter of giving her the space to find herself. She was feeling caged in, and it's nothing that you did. It's just she wasn't fully ready. I mean, I do believe she loves you, but I believe she wasn't fully ready for it. She got caught up in a lot of stuff. Then you're in it, and then she got scared and she ran. But if you just give her the space and you don't push in any way, shape, or form, and try not to get into that waiting and wanting mode, which I know is very hard to do in a relationship when a relationship ends, because those are two things that we do. We wait and we want, but it's the wrong thing to do. Try to trust. And what I'd like you to do is keep your focus on all the things that you're grateful for with her, because the more we focus on gratitude, the more the universe gives us to be grateful for. So therefore, if you're grateful that you've had all this wonderful relationship with her, the universe will send you more of having a wonderful relationship with her. If you focus on she's not here and she's never coming back and, oh my God, what's going to happen, you're going to draw in more negative stuff. Try to trust the process. It is not over by a long shot. It is not over. I believe she loves you. I believe she will be coming back.
Jill,
and if I were to give you
repeat that gratitude. The more you're grateful for things, the more things come into your life.
Yes.
Repeat that.
Okay. So
that resonates.
Okay, so it's so important to keep your focus on things that you're grateful for. So in other words, in Tanetta's situation, she should be grateful for her relationship, the relationship she has. That's where she should focus her attention. Be grateful that she had it, that she met this person. Forget about the outcome. Just be in the moment. I'm so grateful for what she had with her. And that then draws in more of having the same thing or better. But if you focus on not having it, that's exactly what you're going to draw in. Our show is here on Blog Talk Radio. You could listen to our Law of Attraction show that we did before we went on hiatus, probably about 6 weeks ago, or it's on YouTube if you want to see it in video. But that talks a lot about that kind of things that we draw in based on our thoughts and our beliefs. But keep your focus on gratitude. Forget that she isn't there. And I know I'm asking you to do something that's very hard to do, but try to keep your focus on you're so grateful that she was in your life. She still is there. Keep your thoughts on what you had or have with her rather than what you had with her. So what you have with her, you have love, you have a bond, you have all this wonderful stuff. Be grateful for that and forget about the fact she's not there because she will be coming back. Did that
do you know a
clarify?
time frame of when you see her coming back around?
I would say the maximum, and this is not, it's not going to take this long, but the maximum is 3 months. So it's not all that long. I believe it's actually going to be sooner than that. And I'm going to ask you to not get upset if you think she's straying away or talking to other people or seeing other people, don't worry about it. That's actually going to be very helpful for her in realizing that nobody does it for her the way you do. And I don't mean sexually, I mean the whole package. You guys talk about compatibility that we were talking about before. You guys, your energies mesh really well. Yeah, do I feel occasional tug of wars? Yes, I do. Emotional tug of wars. But overall, there's a very nice blending of your energies together, and I do feel she's not going to be able to find that elsewhere.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. Well,
yes,
I'm so happy that I found the show, and I'm glad that I was able to get on and talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Me too, Tanetta. Just try to trust the process and keep in a state of gratitude, and you're going to see how quickly you're going to draw her back.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for calling in. Jill, I hate to interrupt when you're in the middle of something like that, but I felt that line resonated with me so. It was like a bell ringing. The more gratitude you show, and bemoaning what we're missing, when if we would focus on the things, we can always be grateful for something. So if you focus on that, it attracts more, and that's one thing I need to learn. It's very hard to do.
Yes, but you are getting very good at doing a lot of stuff with this emotional work. You are. And you're really doing phenomenal. So you'll get that. And I've said that probably 500 times since you've been involved in the show. And tonight is the first night you've heard it.
Yeah.
So that shows me how much you're awakening.
Yep.
This is the age of Aquarius, Jim.
I swear.
It has to be. It has to be. Oh, my God. Aquarius? I won't sing because everybody will leave this show immediately.
Don't do that. Oh, they all hung up. They're all gone.
No, please come back. All right. Do you want to talk or do you want to take one more call and then talk?
Take one more call and then talk.
Okay. Who do we got?
We've got Patricia, who's relocating. Is that you, Patricia?
Okay.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, welcome. Tell us your story. Tell us what's going on with you.
Well, starting about last year, I had gotten really these messages, intuitive messages, whatever you want to call it, about relocating, and I was going to relocate. I thought elsewhere prior to, but to the Southwest. Don't know anyone there, no family, no friends, nothing. So I know if it's some type of a journey. In May of this year, I went for about 5 days in Arizona to try to get some feeling or something, look at it and see if anything, spoke to me or, touched me or so. I found when I was riding the public transportation, strangers were nice when I would ask directions, and everyone was, generous and kind. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay. And of course, yes, I'm doing the pros and cons, writing on paper. Of course, I'm praying and asking for guidance. And so then, of course, there's New Mexico. And yes, I know
what came to me. That's what came to me when you started to talk about the southern western part of the country. New Mexico is what came to me. Arizona is a lovely place. I mean, I love Arizona, but New Mexico feels more aligned with you.
I see. Then, as I said, I'm doing the pros and cons of both cities and states. And yes, I know about the hot weather and the crime and so on and so forth. And I wanted to do this around September of this year. And so, yes, there are other things going on in my life, to I'm now going to have started to attempt to find side gigs that were right for me because I'm on a limited budget, meaning I couldn't afford internet, but I use a device from the library, a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is good. And then, learning, teaching myself new skill sets. So I'm moving forward because I must move out of this state, Ohio, because the energy is just so very, and has been so, toxic and negative, and many of the people I found, abrasive and just really negative. And I definitely understand, energy, and how that, can be such a strong effect in your life. And I won't spend any more time here than necessary. So I'm just attempting to really solidify my decision. And I need to visit New Mexico, Albuquerque, and determine that if that's the best place for me, and whatever this journey that I'm to complete, do that, and then move on in my life.
So, what part of the state is Albuquerque in? Because I see you in the northern part of New Mexico, the northwestern part of New Mexico.
I don't know. As I said, I've never been there, and I don't know anyone there. And yes, I mean, obviously that TV series, there, and there's another TV series that films there.
Farmington is in the northwest side of New Mexico. Albuquerque is almost in the center, and Santa Fe is a little bit more north of that.
North central, though.
They're both central. Santa Fe is central, but central side to side and towards the top on the top.
Because that has a nice feel for her, too. But a few things that I want to mention when you were talking that were jumping out at me. I know you said you want to get out because the energy is bad in Ohio and stuff, but when you run from something, unfortunately, you tend to take that negative energy with you. So my very, very strong advice to you is to try to, even though you don't like the energy or anything like that, is work on finding peace and acceptance, and then do the move. And I know you said September, which is, it's a month away, literally. Right. So you've got a lot of work to do. But I feel your best chance at really finding the right location and being happy there is to find peace. You have to find that peace within yourself and find that peace where things don't even bother you. All this energy and craziness and stuff is going around, but you find that inner peace within you. New Mexico feels stronger to me for you than Arizona, though Arizona has such a great feel, but it just doesn't feel. I just feel that it feels better for you in New Mexico.
Right. Right. And I've been doing healing and release work, for many other different areas of my life. So
keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Right. So certainly. But yes, the energy here is just too conflicting. And I know city and state has their own energy. I get that. But it's this here. And I was born here, but I lived elsewhere for many years and came back here. And it's, it's been a mess. So I'm not wasting any more time here. I'm doing my healing and work and moving on.
Right, you're on the right track. I'm just looking at your energy to see. You mentioned before about not knowing anybody, and my guides keep saying it's not an issue. You'll fit in. You'll fit in fine, and you'll find that you're able to make friends and feel very much at home. But what the one thing I do have to say is, like, you have like Albuquerque in mind and stuff. Be more flexible. Sort of, if and when you go down there, explore a few different areas. My gut feeling is you'll find something and you'll be shocked. I could hear you saying, I never expected to like it here, but you will. And it's not Albuquerque. It's somewhere else. So try not to have it dead set in your mind exactly what you think you want. More let yourself feel a place out. You're going to know. If you're honest with yourself, you're going to know if it feels right for you.
Okay. And the gentleman, the guy that was saying, you're asking the location for it, and that's so you're saying.
Patricia, we can't understand you. Can you speak closer to the phone?
Yes, so you're saying that you're mentioning different cities. You're saying it's more northwest that I might.
I see you in northwest New Mexico. Yes. And even though when Jim said Santa Fe, and that seems to be the north central part of the state, feels good for you as well. So I would say explore that area. There's something.
Okay, let me give you some names.
Oh,
Shiprock.
Go on.
Shiprock.
Oh, I like that, actually. I do like that.
Farmington.
I get nothing on Farmington at all.
Aztec.
I love that. I love that.
Those
that.
Those are the three cities in the most northern western side of the state.
Especially look into Aztec. What was it? Shiprock or?
Shiprock, yeah.
And
they're
Shiprock.
smaller towns. They're smaller towns, but yeah, Farmington is a nearby major city.
I'm not getting anything on Farmington for her. I mean, that might be like the central hub, you know.
No, it's just a larger city. That's all.
But the other two, Aztec. Oh, I could see her there. Oh my God,
if
I
I was
love
looking
that
for a
you.
place to go through some spiritual rejuvenation and pure and cleansing, I would probably pick a smaller town than a big one.
That's true. That is true. And then you're close enough to Farmington where, where whatever she needs would be there. I would look into this Aztec or even that Shiprock, and just when you go to New Mexico, make sure you visit the northwestern part. That's where I see you. And you have the potential of really fitting in and being very happy there. Very, very happy.
I see.
But
all right.
Get your act together, Patricia. Get your act together before you go. Don't go going, whew, I'm so glad I got away. Don't do that because you're going to bring all that negativity with you. Get that negativity out of you first.
Yes. All right.
All right.
All right. So, should I still move forward with September, or just maybe now push it back to October?
I would like to see you go when the time is right and not put that pressure on yourself, because I think that you're going to make the wrong decision if you put that pressure on yourself. If you say by the end of the year, I'd like to be out of here, and you're praying and trust Spirit to help guide you and open up the opportunities. If you're in Aztec or somewhere, Santa Fe even, you're going to know. You're going to know. And the right opportunities, the right apartment or house, whatever you're looking for, will find its way to you. It will.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Good luck.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, Jim, we're turning this back over to you. Yes.
We have 7 minutes.
Oh, thanks.
Oh God. Well, we could extend the show a little bit for this. This is important.
This is important.
Well, how long do we have on the Zoom and the blog talk? Will they cut us off?
Blog talk won't cut you off, but Zoom might.
No, and Zoom won't either.
All right. We'll go as long as we need to.
Okay, well, I have a lot of things that I could share, but it's because it's pretty raw. It really needs to be culled down and turned into a paragraph or a paper, and it's mostly this now. It's just notes. So I'm going to read some of the more easy to understand notes so that it doesn't take a long time, and so we can move right through this. So we'll start with Lady Fontaine, and what I'm going to read is a kind of a merging of the Sun, Moon, Ascendant, okay? But before that, I want to tell you that I was looking at your chart, and I realized that what you're calling a triple Gemini is not what I understand a triple thing. Because a triple thing that I understand is usually the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant in the same house, the same sign.
Oh, okay.
So you have 3 planets in the Ascendant.
That's what I was saying. It's a triple Gemini. Yeah.
In the 11th house. Yeah. And so yes, you have a triple. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay. So the Sun, Moon, Ascendant. Insatiable curiosity and deep feelings. You move a lot.
That's true.
Looking for a home base.
You
need responsibilities and obligations to bring out your best qualities.
I do.
If your equilibrium is upset, you have health issues.
Do you think that's true? I don't know why I sometimes have health issues. Like when I get bronchitis, is it is it emotional stuff?
This is the notes that come out of books that I've done research on and pulled together into these kinds of readings. Okay.
Wow.
You need emotional support and freedom to explore the world to retain your health.
That is true.
So that's what we're talking about when we say you get out of equilibrium. You don't have the emotional support or the freedom to explore.
And then I get off kilter.
Right.
What I would call off kilter.
Yeah. So you need to take a motorcycle more often.
Mike, do you hear that?
Mike, you're up.
I was happy. He wanted to go out one day this week, but I was busy working. So
an early start in your life would have been really good because it would help you to avoid kind of not having direction for a long time. Going here and going there, doing this and doing that, and not really knowing what you want to do with yourself. So it took a long time for you to straighten that out. But if you had gotten started early in life, you might have been able to just stick to that, and that would have been it for the rest of your life.
But what? Stick with what?
Well, what are you doing?
I had a whole nother career when I was younger.
Yeah.
A whole nother career.
At least one.
Oh, and I've had more than one, but I did not want to give it up because I was making so much money. Who could give up working on Wall Street for this?
Golden handcuffs, man. Golden handcuffs. They're hard to take off. I know. I did it myself.
But here we are. We both left Wall Street, and here we are.
So I'm looking at this one book, and it says if your sun is in the 12th house, certain things are really pertinent to who you are right now. But it's not. It's in the 11th house, but it's right on the cusp.
Oh.
Okay. So I said, isn't that interesting? Listen to what it says. You are never happier than with animals. You should be a dog groomer, a veterinarian, or a dog show judge. I was like,
you kidding
you're kidding me?
That's fantastic.
Crystal.
So you struggle between cultivating your home and your career and enjoying the world. Okay, those are the challenges that you face.
Enjoying the world. Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't traveled really the world since I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
I've traveled the United States, but not the world since my 20s.
Although idealistic, you demand respect and loyalty when you feel you deserve it.
That is true.
Okay.
And remember that, Paul.
She didn't. That wasn't me. That was you. Okay.
Was that your evil twin? Was that your Gemini twin coming
out? The other side of Gemini popping up there.
I was married to a Gemini. I don't want to see that part.
Yeah. Watch out. So my own notes, I just took a big look at your chart and I said, okay, everything is on one side of your chart. It's all on the
I
ascending
know
side.
that. I know that. So what
And
does that mean?
It's capped off with a Jupiter to Mars opposition. So it's not just, it actually has a cover. It's a bowl configuration, they call it. And what that means is you're self-contained, subjective. And the empty half, which in your case is the 5th through the 10th houses, are areas of challenge. Romance, amusements, pleasures, health, work, habits, partnerships, legacies, support from others, religion, and standing in the community. Those are all areas that those parts of the chart usually cover, and those parts are really kind of missing for you. So those are places where you might have the biggest struggles in life.
Say that again. What were they again?
Areas are romance, amusements, pleasures, health, work, habits, partnerships, legacies, support from others.
What's left?
Religion and standing in the community. There's home.
That's nothing, Jill.
Oh, wow.
That's
I'll
nothing.
be sitting in my home by myself.
Yeah, there's a lot left.
with my dogs that I can groom.
There's a lot left. The thing is that you're so heavily weighted on the other side, it overpowers it all. So it's very much a propelling type of chart. But there's these parts of you that you might not see so much of.
What?
Sorry. That's what it means.
I'm closing. I don't hear this.
That's not a bad thing, though. You are overbalanced on the wheel on one side, and you just
But
need
I
to
want
let
to
it.
hear what the good stuff is on that other
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
That is,
Everybody
well,
wants
you just
good
need to
stuff.
shift the weight over until it flows into those areas. It's just
I don't know
a little
what
bit
to
of
do.
a tip. You got to tip it.
I have no standing in the community. I wanted to run for office.
You better work on that.
You might want to think about that.
You better not do this here.
What I would suggest, Lady Fontaine, is getting someone to run a progressed chart for you to see what that's changed into today. So in your native chart is just what the potentials you're born with. Today it might be different.
So it could have changed now. All that. All right. I know somebody who could do that.
Okay.
So
we need to hear that so we can compare. That's fascinating.
That's right.
Right. I'll ask him. I'll contact him tomorrow. So what's the good stuff? There must be a good side to that.
I put all kinds of stuff and good stuff in there, didn't I? She wants the candy.
Like you say, I'm heavily, weighted on this one side. I want to know how it's balanced on the other side.
Oh, you have great amount of strength.
That I do.
Yeah.
Emotional, physical, and everything else.
Yeah, lots of strength, and it helps you get past the tough stuff. And you need to get out and find the larger world.
That's all that's there.
That's all that's there. That was my at a glance. I mean, we talked about the dog groomer and all that kind of stuff.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. No, but dog show, judge, who would that apply to?
Right. Not many.
Oh, my
Isn't that
God. Yes. That is wild. That really is.
Okay, and now this other guy.
This guy over here, Paul?
Yeah, this other guy. Yeah, that guy. Okay, are you ready, Paul?
I'm ready.
Always on stage with a flair for the dramatic.
Are you kidding me?
Your many friends are important to you, but if it isn't on your terms, you lose interest.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Arrogant, generous, proud, and playful. You make a great entertainer, social director, or restaurant host. Flattery is the best way to persuade you, and vanity is your downfall.
Please.
Jill figured me out.
I know.
Yeah, she asked you to do something, right? Oh, that was a different
she
show.
Just praised me first, though.
Oh, you're so good at this, Paul. You do this so well.
You're the best, man.
You really are phenomenal.
Stop it.
You may be reluctant to take risks, but you want to. Fiscally pragmatic, yet extravagant. You're very honest, so people feel comfortable around you. However, your needs and goals predominate.
Do you think that's true?
Spot on, 100%.
Okay. Am I glancing at your chart? Your chart is, he's got a grand trine in the middle of his chart with two sextiles on one corner. It's
What's
just
that?
like, oh, wow.
A grand
like
triangle? What?
life
No,
comes
trine,
to you so
trine.
easy. It's like envy. I don't like you because life is so easy for you. that's what it means.
See,
Sorry.
I can fix
Wait,
you.
life is easy for
I
me?
can fix you, but I can fix you, Paul.
All right.
I can fix you. It will be easy. If you have a progressive chart done, it'll go in 2021. It gets easy.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, 2021 is looking good.
But now everything is stacked up in your 12th
Starts
house.
getting easy.
Everything's
Oh,
stacked
what
up.
does that mean?
Your Sun, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Mars are all stacked up in your 12th house.
Okay.
Which means
Ask him what that means.
What's it
that
mean?
which means that there are parts of you that no one ever gets to see that are even stronger than what everybody gets to see. Because that's on Leo. So your ascend and your sun is in Leo.
Okay.
Okay? And that means that your real personality is what people see. It is Mr. Leo, Mr. Sunman. But it's in the 12th house, which means there's probably even more there than most people get to see. Okay? I'm not going to ask you to reveal
No.
that you get
No,
what
I have.
There's more Leo there, is what you're saying. There's more Leo there that he
when
holds back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has to shut it down.
I have to. Yeah. Remember, Jill? I have to be humble. I have to shut it down. That's one of the things we were working on. It's one of my experiences in life was very early on. I had an experience with a school teacher in 4th or 5th grade where I was kind of slapped down a bit, and I've kind of, that's been my knee jerk, is to always hold back and not let myself be fully. Yeah.
We were just working on this the other day.
Oh my gosh. See, you could have just come to me. I could have told you all that.
Right.
Yeah, but
you can't fix me though.
Oh.
Right, that's the problem. I have the magic
I can
touch.
just move the chart around a little. No. So those are the quick at a glance readings of what I got from your charts.
Interesting.
Amazing
So again,
chart.
what's in the center? You said I didn't really understand.
The trine.
The
that
trine.
Grand trine.
So
Trine. Okay.
you have Saturn in the 8th house that is in harmony with Neptune in Scorpio in the 4th house, which is in harmony with Mars, which is in Cancer in the 12th house.
Right.
So that means that's a very smooth moving picture. And when you get a grand trine, and it's like creased in. There's like several planets that are hitting that trine. So it's not just a grand trine. It's a grand trine with lots of overwriting.
Right.
And it's a powerful
It's very powerful.
configuration.
I have to find a way of accessing that. I'm being held back. I'm holding myself back. I have to find a way to
Exactly. You are
tap
holding
into it.
yourself back.
Yep.
When I saw that picture of you today on Facebook, that growl picture.
Which one? The one for my radio show where I'm like.
Yes. I thought that's
Leo.
what he's talking about.
Right.
When we were, from what we were talking
Oh,
about.
yeah. Yep.
Jim's just sitting there. Going, that's her therapy? That's her therapy.
Here's what
it's working.
Here's what they write about this particular grand trine. Creative, understands the mass consciousness, instinctual, sympathetic, needs an outlet or he gets neurotic, cautious and doesn't know when to stop.
That's all me, 100%.
Even what is the name of your album?
Oh, my band is called Critical Consciousness, and the album is called Reborn.
Critical Consciousness.
Yep.
What did you say about mass consciousness?
Understands the mass consciousness.
Like the collective.
Yeah.
The collective mind, the universal mind.
And you actually, when I said a few things, you were actually vehemently committed to that name for your beliefs.
Yeah.
It fit your beliefs. You were vehemently aligned with that, even though your drummer left.
Well, yeah, we can't get into that. Those are those are contractual things. My drummer was I had a studio drummer whose political beliefs and social beliefs. We had to part ways. Okay.
Right. We could cut this whole section out.
No, the thing is, I had to come up with a band name that had something similar to two S's, which was part of a previous band's logo design that I had done. So I wanted to keep that logo. It was really important to me, and I couldn't use S and S, so I used C and C because it was the closest in terms of the shape. So my family, my son and my girlfriend and I, we all sat down together with a list of names that started with C, and we went through two or three, and my son put critical and consciousness together, and it just immediately went, boom, that's it. And I don't care what anyone else wants to tell me, that's the name. I had immediate yes, and I won't go back. That's it.
And tell us about your logo. I mean, there was a lot of thought put into the reversed pentagram.
Right. So a lot of heavy metal bands use the inverted pentagram, which is a sign for Satanism and paganism, and it's pretty much.
I don't think pagans.
I think pagans use the inverted. I think so. Don't pagans?
They do, yeah.
So you've got a 5-pointed star, and by flipping it over, a lot of the reasons for it and the explanation is that you are inverting the order of things. You're taking things and flipping them upside down. So it's attractive to a lot of people because you're flipping the societal order on its head. You're flipping Christianity on its head because it was oppressive to pagan cultures in Norway. A lot of that stuff, they gravitate to the 5-pointed star upside down. So I've always, I felt that's an interesting image, and the 5-pointed star is universal in general. But for me, I'm a Christian. It's a little bit of a struggle to explain that to people using that symbol because I put it in there because I do have an appreciation for the idea of inversion and duality. So there's dark and light in all of us. So that's maybe part of the darkness that's in me, and it's part of the flip, But then I have a symbol of Pluto. The planetary astrological sign of Pluto is over the top of that. And that, to me, represents it's the planet of creative destruction, or the planet of change. So that is over and above.
There's more social change or political change.
Right? So, and anytime you use symbolism, people are going to take what resonates to them. But for me, it means what I want it to mean to me. So the Plutogram, as I explain it, I have a lot of Christian friends that look at it and they get scared and they see my imagery and the fact I'm in a metal band and I have eyeliner on that maybe I'm evil, and I'm trying to use that imagery in my music to explore those concepts of, there's dark and light in all of it. There's duality. There is inversion. There's the struggle to overcome your animal nature and develop your spiritual nature. All those things are present in that symbol to me. So, I can't tell people how that symbol reflects to them, but I created it. It's my symbol. That's what it means to me. So,
I think that's great.
I like it.
I mean, that's all that matters. I mean,
right?
I thought it was interesting how he put so much thought into what he believes.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I mean, I would have used a different planet, maybe. I probably wouldn't use an inverted pentagram. I'd use a regular pentagram.
Right.
With.
You should have done an inverted Star of David.
Inverted.
Yeah.
Isn't that? What are we talking about?
A Star of David.
Who can tell if it's upside down?
Right.
You
Every
can,
time you turn it 5 degrees, it's the same symbol, isn't it?
So I think that's perfect.
Right.
No one will be insulted. It'll be clear.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think if I would use Venus or Jupiter as my planet if I had a choice.
What do those planets mean to you?
Love and money.
Right?
That's my inner battle
Yeah.
constantly. Love or money.
Right? How about
That's
you,
it.
Jim? What are your planets? What represents you in your work and life?
When people ask me what my sign is, I usually say it's stop.
Where's your
But I
reading
never had
for yourself? Where's your reading for yourself?
I didn't read myself. I read myself so many times, and so I'm tired of it.
So tell us a little bit about you. What does your sign say?
I'm a Taurus, and I rise in Capricorn, and my moon is in Scorpio, which is the only reason.
Your moon is in Scorpio.
Yeah, the only reason I can get along with Scorpios. But because I'm double Earth, I'm Capricorn and Taurus, I am very Earth. So don't try and be more pragmatic than I am.
And it's so interesting because I'm all air.
Yeah,
I'm all air signs, everything.
Right?
Yet we've been friends for 30 years. I don't know how we do it.
We've also had our battles. We've also had our battles.
Oh, many. Many.
Yeah. Once in a while, I just dig in my heels, and there's no turning back.
Paul is noted. Now I got you involved. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that. That wasn't fair. I'm sorry.
Well, we've got a fixed Earth and a Gemini air sign. Yikes.
I'm fire.
Yeah.
You're
fire?
I'm fire. I think I'm a fire horse, according to the Chinese. Jim, you can tell me if I'm on the Chinese calendar where I was at.
I don't have the Chinese calendar memorized.
Yeah, I know I'm a fire sign.
Okay.
Or that's what I've been told in the past.
What we need is water.
Yeah.
When we find the social media person, then we're totally covered.
Or wind, right? We can have an R&B group.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No, I have a challenge for you. I know you're nowhere near ready to accept this challenge, but I wonder if someday you'll be able to write and perform a love song. I know. There's heavy metal. No, I believe could do that. Oh. If I asked you to do heavy metal, okay, that's it. You do heavy metal, Jim, and you do a lot.
Jim, I might need some viola on my album. I'll send you my track.
Got it. You got it.
I would love to have some real viola.
Or maybe a little banjo. Is there any heavy metal banjo out there?
There's room for banjo.
I've seen.
All right.
I've seen him do the banjo.
Yeah, let's
work
talk
on that
after the show. I can definitely use you. I didn't know you played banjo.
Bang, 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 bang.
Oh, this is so exciting that you guys are going to be jamming together.
Well, remotely anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean you're not really going to do this on your album?
No, I would definitely reach out to him to record, but I don't think we'll be in the same place. It's not necessary.
Well, we're going to be. Aren't you going to come to the team building?
Yeah, but why waste his time and put him to work while we're hanging out? We can do it by email. I'll send him a chart. We'll figure it out.
I'll bring a 6-pack. We'll be in good shape.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, this was wonderful. Thank you so much, Jim, for doing
Thank you, Jim.
this.
Yeah, you were spot on. I think the only thing I would take exception with is arrogant. I don't feel arrogant.
No, not at all.
But everything else, 99% was spot on.
It screamed out so many times I had to put it in there. I felt bad, but I'm sorry.
Maybe I was born arrogant and that teacher knocked it out of me.
Yeah,
maybe. But maybe we'll figure out what that actually means. We will.
Yeah.
But
amazing.
Do we want to thank people for bearing with us for all this time?
Yeah, thank you all. And thank you, Michael, for screening for us.
Mike, thank you. You want to come on the air for a minute and say hello?
Yeah.
Hey, hello.
Thank you, Mike.
Did you enjoy it? Yes,
thank you, Mike.
You did a phenomenal job. You really did.
Thank you.
What kind of voice is this? I've never heard a voice like this before.
Hello. Yes.
Mike,
This is what
he
your
never
show
shuts
has
his
done
mouth when we're what?
This is what you're to me.
This is what?
You don't
When we're-
understand.
No,
No,
You don't
dropped out.
understand.
You're
There you
acting
go.
like a Martian. You're acting like a Martian.
See, there's our win. He's like
Every
Quinn.
time I
He's just
talk like
silently
you say
moving
the
through.
same thing, Jill.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Where did you want me to be at 7:30 tomorrow morning? Don't say it. Don't say
Sitting
it.
in your car.
Right. That's true. But thank you, Mike. You did a phenomenal job. You really did. We really appreciate it. You
Yeah.
want a job?
Made a big difference.
Thank you. There's a
You
few
want a
people
job?
that didn't get, few people that didn't make it on, but
I know. We
Always
really. Did they give their email address or anything?
I've got phone numbers and possible one just dropped off.
Yeah, they know we're shutting the show down, so they're
Yeah.
The one that dropped off didn't give a phone number. I think you've already talked to Patricia.
Yeah, we
Right.
already talked to Patricia.
I think
All
there
right.
was 2 Patricias tonight.
On the call.
We did.
We
Yeah, we'll
did,
figure
but-
it out. We'll
You got
start
both?
taking
Okay,
those.
good.
Yeah, thanks again. We're going to wrap it up here. We're 20 minutes over, so we'll give everyone a chance to get back to their families. I want to thank all our listeners and viewers, those who called in tonight. We enjoyed hearing your stories. It was a fantastic show, some of the best callers we've ever had, and we really appreciate you. Our next show is going to be on Thursday, August 12th at 8 p.m. The topic is letting go of fear of commitment. Letting go of fear of commitment. So mark your
Wow.
calendars. Be sure to join us for that exciting show in 2 weeks here on Blog Talk Radio, as well as all our video streaming live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have lots of great topics in queue and welcome your suggestions for the topics that you want us to talk about. Email us at radioshow@ladyfontaine.com with your suggestions, testimonials, or just to say hello. And also email us if we don't get Mike to be our show caller, which I think we're going to twist his arm. He feels like our wind to our earth, wind and fire.
Yeah.
Earth, wind and fire, and water. Email us at radioshow@ladyfontaine.com. And we want to have a very special thanks to Mike for all his help tonight, because it really opened up Jim and I to
That's right.
just have a lot easier time on the show.
Mike.
Please visit Lady Fontaine at ladyfontaine.com for a reading or life coaching session. For those listeners in New York, the tri-state area, visit Jim at East West Healing Arts in Hartsdale, New York. The website is eastwesthealing.info. Facebook page is facebook.com/eastwesthealingarts. I have my own show on not Pure Rock Radio. It's now on Bulldog Radio. It starts on August 10th. Pure Rock Radio has been retired, and I am moving to a new radio station out of South Africa, actually. Bulldogs, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday nights, 6 degrees. And we, again, what a great show.
It was a great show.
Couldn't be more impressed. We had a really fun time with everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Great fun.
everyone, for calling in, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Good night.